My General CD Collection, Part 22. Ahoy hoy everybody, and welcome to part 22 of a look at my General CD collection. So these are just normal CDs, no compilations, no soundtracks, no Prince related stuff, no signed CDs, no box sets, because I've already shown you all those. We're on to the last set of shelves of my black CD racks, the ones that are awkward to get to, so I'm a bit sweaty, a bit out of breath, but let's crack on. Quite a lot of these are sort of more in artist groups than previous sets because they've been hidden down there and hardly moved. Anyway, okay, so first up we have Thin Lizzy's Greatest Hits. I do like Thin Lizzy quite a bit, but this is all I have of theirs. I will probably get some of their stuff on vinyl, certainly the live album, whose name has just gone out of my head. Good start, Martin. But Live and Dangerous. I knew if I waited it would come to me. I'll almost certainly pick that up on vinyl. Might get some of the other stuff. But this is a good Greatest Hits. He's also got some of Phil Lynott solo stuff. His two big tracks with Gary Moore, Out in the Fields and Parisian Walkways. Yeah. It's certainly got most of what you would want on here. And this is the 2 CD version. I don't know if they were all 2 CDs. Possibly. Okay. Tin Machine. This is the first Tin Machine album, in case you've been living under a rock. When was this? 89? Yeah. So in the late 80s, David Bowie had a lot of criticism for selling out, and his music wasn't as good as it used to be. So he decided he'd form a band and just be a band member for a while. And Tin Machine were that band. It's largely rock. Not heavy rock, but rock. General consensus is Tin Machine isn't very good. There's some good stuff on it. It's coming under a bit of a reappraisal. I think people are warming to it over the years. Yeah, it's okay. It's just not up to Bowie's standards. This is the second album, Tin Machine 2. And this is probably a little bit better. Possibly. It's got a couple of decent tracks on it. On the first one, it has got I Can't Read, which is a great track that Bowie re-recorded himself. And they also released Oy Vey Baby, a live album, which again, it's okay. TLC, Crazy Sexy Cool. So this is the earliest TLC I've got. Can't remember if it was 1 or 2 albums before this, but I haven't got those. Mainly picked this up for 2 reasons. First, because of Waterfalls, which is just an amazing song. And secondly, they cover Prince's If I Was Your Girlfriend on here. But really enjoyed the album, so much so that I've got more of their stuff since. But yeah, this is just a great, great album. So yeah, after... No, this wasn't after, was it? Ignore that. Next album was Fan Mail, which has got some really good stuff on it. No Scrubs and Unpretty were big hits. I could do without some of the idea of this is that there was a 4th member whose name I can't remember what they called her. Vicky, that was it. Who was a computer generated member, and there's sort of links with her in between it, which I'm not a fan of. And then Lisa Left Eye Lopez died. They reformed 2 or 3 years ago and recorded a new album, which I've previously shown because I got a signed copy of that. Okay, on to another batch of Robbie. I've shown plenty of him throughout these. This is Robbie Williams live at Nebworth. So this is the live album of the record-breaking 3 Nights at Nebworth. This is a compilation from over the 3 nights. This was then reissued 10 years later in a box set, which I have already shown. It came with DVD and Blu-ray and some extra bits as well. But it's a nice memory of the time, because I was there on the 3rd night. This is his greatest hits. This was the first greatest hits album that came out. This had the new tracks Radio and Misunderstood. Otherwise it was literally all the hits, up to and including the Escapology album, though it didn't contain Freedom 90, which is, yes, for Robbie's 20th anniversary of being in showbiz, which would have been 2001, I think it was, 11 rather. They released a box set, Greatest Hits, that had a bit, obviously, had everything up to that time, and that did include those, and I've already shown that anyway. This is Intensive Care, aka the album whose name I always forget. This was his first one after his split with Guy Chambers, his regular writing partner. Most of this is written with Stephen Tintin Duffy. I really like this album. It's got my favourite Robbie song, or my joint favourite Robbie song, Advertising Space, which was a single on here. But yeah, I really like this album. This is the 20th anniversary version of his debut album, Life Through a Lens. I'm pretty certain I've already shown the standard version of it. I've shown plenty for the 20th anniversary, as well as this box set that I've just mentioned. They also re-released all the albums up to then in special limited editions with an extra DVD of TV performances with each one. Apart from I always forget the name of it, Intensive Care, which for bonus DVD was a live show, a live TV broadcast he did in Germany to promote the album. I can't remember off the top of my head if that also had TV performances as well. I don't think it did. Swing When You're Winning had the Albert Hall show, and Rude Box had the short films that were made to they're promo videos, but they're short films rather than videos, if you see what I mean, for all the tracks on that album. Anyway, yeah, so this is his debut album. This has got Angels on it and Let Me Entertain You, Lazy Day, South of the Border, and All Before I Die with the singles. This has also got on this one the Brit Awards medley he did with Tom Jones, which was amazing, doing songs from the Full Monty. And it's also got his Parkinson interview on here. Okay, away from Robbie, and a very dusty copy of Legend, Bob Marley and the Wailers, an album that every home should have. I enjoy reggae. I'm not a massive reggae fan. It's not something that I sit and listen to regularly, but when the time is right, I enjoy listening to it. And Bob Marley is obviously the reggae icon. This sort of does me for now. I might pick up some of his stuff if I find it at the right price, but this has certainly got everything I would want on it. This is The Real Bob Dylan, a 3 CD best of the Ultimate Bob Dylan collection, they're calling it. I picked this up because I don't really like Bob Dylan, basically. I think he's a great songwriter, and I really like a lot of his songs that other artists have done. However, I can't get past his voice. It just really grates after a while. Some songs obviously are better than others. It's not so whiny on some songs. I don't know, this is sacrilege to a lot of people. So I bought this. It was, I think I think I got it at the same time as Legend and AN Other in one of HMV's, free CDs for 20 quid or whatever. So this only cost me about 7 quid. Yeah, it hasn't changed my opinion of him. Maybe I didn't find it quite as annoying as I thought I would. There's certainly lots of good stuff on here. All the classics. Times They Were Changing, and Hard Rain's Gonna Fall, and Mr. Tambourine Man, although I prefer the Birds version. It's Alright Ma, I'm Only Bleeding, Like a Rolling Stone is a great, great, great song. All Along the Watchtower, I prefer Hendrix's version, possibly 4th Street, I'll Be Your Baby Tonight, I prefer Robert Palmer's version. Knocking on Heaven's Door, I prefer any other version. Mighty Quinn, or Quinn the Eskimo, I prefer Manfred Mann's version. Hurricane I really appreciated. Yeah, and sort of as it goes on, there's sort of less and less tracks that are famous on here. And there's what's it called? Subterranean Homesick Blues is a notable omission on here. I will probably try some more Dylan, try some of his actual albums, the classics, stick them in my first listen to range, or series of videos, see what happens. Still with Dylan, we have the Travelling Wilburys collection. So this was the reissue that came out in 2007. That contains both the Travelling Wilburys albums with bonus tracks, which I think one of them was a B-side and the other three are previously unissued. And it's also got a DVD with videos and a documentary about them as well. Yeah, I enjoy both these albums. I wouldn't say they're my favourite albums ever, but I certainly, as I say, enjoy them. It's a nice little package it came in. This is Terence D'Arby's Greatest Hits. So I've had and still have Introducing Hardline According To, which I bought on vinyl when it came out. In the era of when it came out, after I decided I liked a couple of the singles, I bought the album, and it is an amazing album. Until recently, that was all I had of this, apart from when I picked this up. And a couple of tracks I had on compilations. And then 18 months ago or so, I picked up, what was it called? Neither Fish Nor Flesh, the second album anyway. But yeah, I really like Terence D'Arby. Amazing voice, really good songwriter. And this is a nice compilation. Okay, now we're moving on to Oasis. Let's get these in order, make things easier. I've already shown, I think, pretty certain, Standing on the Shoulder of Giants, which, as I mentioned as well, I sort of stopped listening to Oasis, or stopped buying Oasis anyway. The Master Plan, and the live Wembley double album, whatever that was called. But these are the three classic albums. So, briefly, I was always a Blur guy. Much preferred Blur, still much prefer Blur. Was very anti-Oasis originally, at the time in 94. Really didn't get what all the hype was about. Then I was camping in 95. About a week after What's the Story had come out, and a girl in a tent 3 or 4 along from us just played the album constantly on a loop all day for about 3 days, and by the end of it I really loved the album. So I bought What's the Story, didn't go back, didn't get Definitely Maybe. Then when Be Here Now came out, it was if you're around at the time, you remember all the hype about it. Record shops were opening early, so I was walking into work, walked past our local record shop, and they had opened early. So I thought, oh, sod it, let's see what all the fuss is about. Went in and bought Be Here Now. It was only much later that I went back and got Definitely Maybe. But yes, this is Definitely Maybe. It is a very good album. It's not my favourite Oasis album. What's the Story is still my favourite Oasis album. I think this is practically perfect, to be honest. Be Here Now, if it wasn't for the overproduction, it would be a good album, but it is very much a cocaine album. Everything goes on far too long. There's just far too much chucked at it. But at the core, there's some really good songs. As I say, I gave up after Standing on the Shoulder of Giants, but I have gone back and recently, over the last year and a bit, picked up all the other CDs in charity shops, which I've shown in my haul videos, and they're on that stack there. So I will talk about them relatively soon. Okay, we're at the 1/4 hour mark, so I'll leave this video here. If you've missed previous parts, they're on the playlist. Future parts will be as well. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on another video. Thanks. Bye.